Telltale's The Walking Dead is without a doubt one of the most legendary games of all time. But how does it hold up now, 4 years after Season 4's release? Well, in this video, we're mainly going to be taking a look at The Walking Dead Season 4, but also skimming over some of the other seasons. The Walking Dead Telltale Season 1 was once again one of the most legendary games ever, but only after 2 follow-ups did it have its decline. So, where did it all begin? Well, I'll show you. Yep, that's right. The Walking Dead, A New Frontier. So then, what makes this game so bad? Now, to say that this season wasn't well received would be an understatement. I do think that I can give credit where it's due, but to explain why Season 4 is so good and why The New Frontier is the downfall of the Telltale series, I must go into more detail. The problem I have with this season, that's the most obvious, is everything after this. They just forget about the entire season of A New Frontier. Apart from one optional scene in Season 4, and you could go on to make a point that they do show a reference to Season 3 towards the end of the game when you have the McCarroll Ranch flashback, when in all reality it was just used as a lazy cover-up to never see any of the characters from Season 3 again or return to Richmond. Essentially writing off over 9 hours of gameplay and story for nothing. Everything about A New Frontier felt so unofficial in a sense. But speaking of unofficial, it's not like other seasons didn't have cut content from their game. I mean, just take a look at this.
What are you looking for, Lee? Second chances?
I'll give you another chance. Can you save me this time?
In this. Okay, well, maybe not that last one, but you get my point. So what about Season 2, you may ask? Well, to tell you the truth, I don't have very many problems at all with this season, but I do want to bring up something a little bit more controversial into the argument. Now, while I don't have a problem with female leads or protagonists in stories, it does start to become a little bit laughable when they're doing things like taking down grown men twice their size. There are some games that do this poorly, and some games that do it very well. So my main problem with Season 2 is every problem that the group gets into is always solved by Clementine, which is 11 or 12 at the time of the season. And no, I'm not saying all of these things because I hate women or something like that. I'm just trying to get the honest truth out there. And as for Season 1, I really don't think I need to say anything about this too much, but you guys get the point. So then, now we're on to Season 4. Now, I do want to say, this is one of my favorite seasons, if not my favorite. This is definitely in top 2 for me. The way that this season makes you feel knowing that it's the last one ever. It's honestly all kind of an experience, and then when Clementine gets bit, it makes you feel a certain way. It makes you feel scared for the character that you spent all these seasons trying to help and survive with. And it doesn't try to force a certain narrative down your throat, like some games. With that being said, I also love how this season tries to draw as many similarities between Season 4 and 1 of the game. Not only Season 1, but a few of the other seasons as well. And in this season, they do a little bit of a better job making your choices matter, but in the end, you still get the same outcome anyway, with a few characters gone, depending on what you pick. Which is probably one of my only complaints about this game and all of the other games, as a matter of fact, because your choices always end up not mattering in the end, but it still is a wonderful story and imagery game. And you've got to love how they use all the anticipation in this game for Clementine dying in the last episode to give you one of the best twists in gaming ever. And I mean, clearly it worked for the fans. I mean, even a platform like Game Rant had this to say, going so far to rank the final season over The Walking Dead Season 1 and every other Walking Dead game IP. So it's clear that the 4th and final season was an obvious return to form. and they did an actual good job at making the walkers scary again in this game, which they did not do in Season 3, being disposed of almost as if they weren't there. Of course, just like every apocalyptic IP, the humans cause more problems than the actual zombies themselves. But I don't really mind too much. It is a shame that we didn't get to see certain characters reappear later on in the series, but you can't have everything, I guess. But I do also feel like if we're going to be talking about the final season, we can't go on without talking about the fall of Telltale Games. There was a long stretch where we thought that we would not get the ending to Clementine's story in the final season, but luckily Skybound Games picked it right back up and gave us the ending we needed. It really is a true full circle story. And then there's the comics. But I think I'll just get into this in another video. But for now, it looks like Clementine's story has come to an end.